let's talk about love for some 45 minutes, 1 hour maximum, and we can have some question and answers, interaction. Or if you prefer, we can have more interactive session. It's up to you. Love is a very ancient topic. It's the primordial cause of almost everything that happens in our lives. Because it is the core of all our emotions. It has led mankind to peaceful times, war times, disturbances, agreements, failures, success. And why do we love? When you go to university, or when we begin pursuing anything in our life, we have to make a lot of effort in order to achieve it. Anything. We have to study, we have to learn new skills, we have to interact with other people. In other words, we love doing something because we want to achieve a specific goal. And for getting to any destiny, there is a means of getting there. And we love that means, because it will eventually bring the desired result. So we love the means for getting anything that we like. It can be in a relationship, it can be in an aesthetic pursuit, music, art, it can be in your profession, change of profession. We start loving that path that we want to walk through. And into that we put all our emotions, our skills, our experiences, for each and every activity. Sometimes it demands from us to wake up earlier in the morning, to stay awake a little bit longer, but all the while we're enjoying that moment. We're enjoying those activities because they are the means that will lead us to the desirable goal. But we can always question, do we pursue it because we love the means? Or we pursue it because we love the goal, the end, the destination? When we raise this question, we realize that what evokes the loving person in us is the destination. Like the university, we love studying, we love doing those exercises, we love working because we want to get a graduation. But if we want to learn new skills, we put time, willingness, frequently we sacrifice in the sense that between two possible actions we choose one which will help us to achieve what we want to achieve. Because actually what we love is the end. Our love for the end gives us energy to enjoy the means. And it varies from person to person. Some people, their goal is to climb the Everest. It's a very arduous task. You need a lot of effort in order to achieve. And very few people succeed. Yet, there are many trying to do that. It's not that they love waking up early in the morning, doing a lot of exercising, running and getting fit. It's because they love the idea of being up there, reaching the summit of our planet. In a relationship, the relationship is the end. When we put effort, we build up together, we construct, we compromise, we tolerate, because we don't know, it's not the means that we love, it's the end, it's being together. It is the trust, it's the love, the harmony we are constructing into that relationship. So we will eventually love the end, the goal. But is it what evoking the loving self? Why do we do the things that we do? Why does someone want to go into a pilgrimage and walk 1,000 kilometers? Why does someone want to work harder in order to achieve any goal? Is it just for the goal itself? If it was for the goal itself, whenever you reach that destination, love would disappear. It's done. It's finished. You want to graduate, you graduate all the time. There is some love into it, and you graduate, has love disappeared, and then life finished. No. We do the things we do because we want to please ourselves. So eventually, we have to realize that everything we do in life is to please ourselves. We are loving towards other people, not necessarily because we love them. It's because it evokes the loving person within. It makes me feel pleased with myself. It's not an egocentric or self-perception of reality, but it's an objective analysis of life. All we do in our lives, we always try to do anything to satisfy ourselves. Whatever perception we have about ourselves. Either if we have a very selfish action, or if we have a very altruistic action. Both we want to satisfy ourselves. We want to please ourselves. But then a natural question arises. Am I always pleased? Or am I displeased sometimes? And when we honestly answer this question, the answer is frequently we are displeased with ourselves. And every now and then we are pleased with ourselves. So there comes a contradiction, a paradox. I do things to please myself in order to evoke the loving person within, who is my own nature. But at the same time, frequently I'm displeased with myself. So I have to question myself. What is my nature? Is it to be displeased? Is it to be pleased? What it is, I have some moments of happiness and longer moments of dissatisfaction. Is that my predicament? Is there a solution to it? Or I just have to bear it and carry on until this suffering is gone? If it is what it is, our conversation is finished. Thank you very much. See? So we have to inquire into that nature. How do I have moments of happiness? Frequently we believe that we have happiness whenever we get something that we desire, or we get rid of something that we don't like, which are the two main basic pursuits of mankind. We're always either trying to grab what we desire or get rid of what we don't like. And the problem is, what I like and what I dislike change all the time. In the morning, the person wakes up and likes certain things. At midday, the same person dislikes the same object. Not only that, the same object is a cause of satisfaction to someone and dissatisfaction to someone else. Parents are at home listening to classical music. Children come in, what is that, Daddy? So boring, you know. You don't know music. Maybe put some rock and roll or some dancing music. One was pleased, the other was displeased. You change the music, one is unhappy, the other is happy. Diversity. And this structure applies to anything in our lives. Relationships, job, our pursuits. So happiness is not an object. If there was one object called happiness, everyone would go there, grab it, be forever happy. Can it be in a situation then? You're working, you reach the end of the year, you have your appraisal, you got a raise, it gives you happiness. A month later, the same salary. Oh my God, why does this company pay such a low salary? Oh, it's hard working for them. They don't value my job, you know. When you get a raise, your manager is the best one in the world. A month later, this guy, you know, I think he's very selfish. He doesn't pay attention to me, you know. I think he values more that person in comparison. Dissatisfaction. Which means that it's not in a situation either. There is no such a thing as a specific time that brings you happiness. Oh, early in the morning I'm always happy. In the evening I'm always happy. With an exception. When you're sleeping you seem to be happy, you know, because you're not disturbing anyone and no one disturbing you. Well, there is a sense of happiness. Or whatever, sense of happiness, satisfaction, love. So how can we come into terms? There is no situation that continuously evokes the pleasing self. There is no place, there is no time, yet I fluctuate. And at the same time, I'm always doing things to please myself. And my thoughts always go, oh, life's not so good, things are not going the way I want. The displeased self is the one which is in the backbone of your structure. We do things to please ourselves. We want to evoke the loving person, yet we are most of the time unhappy, or worried, or dissatisfied, because we're moody. A lot of emotions. And unfortunately, there are no schools that teach us how to accommodate, how to understand our emotions. We are driven by our emotions. Our successes are very much triggered by our emotions, influenced. So are our failures. It is so powerful that when it comes, it takes over our intellectual being and makes us do a lot of things that otherwise we wouldn't have done, both favorably and disfavorably. How do I deal with that? All these emotions, doesn't matter how we call them, they have one spring, which is love. Some of them are misconception, and misuse, and abuse, misunderstanding of love. Others are a more optimistic, more natural, and more human manifestation of love. When we see someone suffering, we empathize. We have sympathy for that person. And we want to help them. It's a natural instinct. If we allow our emotions to flow. Unfortunately, we live in a society that is somehow misleading our conception of humanity. Parents nowadays are educating their children with a very specific and wrong and limiting model. Don't talk to strangers. Very dangerous. When the seed you are planting into the child's mind, you are saying, any other human being like you is a stranger. No other species in this planet behave in that way. A dog will always recognize a dog. An elephant will always recognize an elephant. They may not know what a monkey is, but they know it's not an elephant. What kind of human being are we educating? Someone that will look at someone else with distrust. And if you don't trust, love will never take place. The core of your upbringing is this trust. Eventually, you internalize it. Because the person who is teaching you not to trust, eventually you will not trust that person either. How are we going to relate with other people? it's a very important fact that we should address this issue. You grow, you go to school, and then you have 20, 30 other kids. You don't know any one of them. What's your first thought? Don't talk to them. They're strangers. Don't trust them. They're strangers. You isolate yourself. You kill your emotional being. But this emotional being wants to manifest himself. And if you suppress, when it comes out, it's always an uncontrollable avalanche. What we call it reaction. And normally it comes in painful moments, and you generate pain to other people as well. And that's why, as time goes by, we have more displeased self manifesting in our cognition than the pleased self. Because we are always watchful. We're always guarding ourselves. Don't trust. It's going to hurt you. It's going to deceive you. It's going to do something which is harmful to you. So you're always like in the maximum security prison, you know. There is someone always stealthily trying to do something to harm you. It inhibits your natural essence. It blocks the full manifestation of your being. Because emotions, they're very powerful. There is I think Picasso used to say, all children are born a great artist. The challenge is to grow up and remain one. So we are de-educated, if such a word exists. We are educated to be, our education limits us, inhibits the full manifestation of our human nature. Not even talking about intellectual capacity. It's just basics. We have empathy, compassion, care towards one another. And if in our cognition, this is an unconditional perception of reality, how can we grow into a loving person? How can we relate to the world? We're educated not to trust. Eventually, every single thing that parents in society put in a child's mind, it will be the way the person looks at himself. Don't trust. I don't even trust myself. Comes the conflict. Full of paradoxes. The child said, I'm not supposed to talk to a stranger. But my parents, they go around and talk to everyone. For me, they are strangers. Conflicts. Your spontaneity, gone. Your appreciation of life and everything around. Even animals are strangers to you. Who hasn't seen children that are afraid of animals? Which is the most natural thing in the world. Animals. They see a cat, they run away. They see a dog, they run away. Sometimes it's unfortunate things, children grow up in a world of concrete. So love, which is supposed to be natural, will get there soon. It's not only not encouraged by the parents, but on the other hand, it's killed by, suppressed, delacerated. And that forms the core of our personalities. We go to school, we go to college, we go to university, we go to work. We have a lot of achievements, a lot of great things happen to us. But every now and then, we have these tremendously painful and sorrowful moments. Why? A child, a hurt one, deceived one. Become us. Because even unconsciously, unconsciously is not the right person. It's hidden for some time, but because it's our own nature, it comes to our consciousness every now and then. And then we have what people call those crises, emotional crises. It's our own nature that wants to manage. If you put a tap on a stream, you can hold the water for a long period of time. The stronger the tap, the longer it's going to be holding. But eventually, society has invented a lot of ways to deal with these moments. Entertainment. Nowadays they have drugs for everything. There is one to make you happy in the morning. There's another one that puts you to bed at night. You're constantly running away from yourself. And it's not from your true self. It's from the idea that you have about yourself. Very important to know the difference. Extremely important. Who you think you are and who you truly are. This one is the conditionings that you receive throughout your life. The other one is the one that is capable of changing it. If you question it, inquire into it. Like we are doing. Am I really the displeased person? Am I setting goals that are not my goals? Am I living a life which is not the life that I want for me? Am I trying to fulfill someone else's expectations instead of going after what I truly love or what truly pleases me? Am I giving up my values, compromised in order to accommodate other people's wishes? Whenever we ask ourselves these questions, and someone else's wishes, desires can be parents, can be society, can be your company, can be your peers, can be your friends. And the answer is, it evokes the displeased self, means I'm giving up my own nature in order to please someone else. You are creating a problem for yourself. And you are not loving yourself. But then you can ask me, oh, but if I'm always pursuing things that please myself, people will call me selfish. Oh, you always want to make your dreams come true. You don't care about it. Which is a very relevant question. Then you have to look at yourself. There are some stages of pleasing yourself. What kind of core structure do I have? In order to achieve my goals, I'm hurting other people. then it's not only selfish, but also wrong. We can talk about this some other day, just to bring it into the context now. It is wrong. In order to achieve my goals, I'm putting a lot of all my energy, and I'm not disturbing anyone. Desirable. Very good approach. But then, is it possible that I enlarge myself? In other words, that not only I try to please myself by achieving my individual goals, but I can also contribute to my surroundings, my family. Much better. Pleases me more. Brings more the loving person within. And unquestionably, it makes ourselves feel happier, much, much happier with ourselves. And there are no limits to it. We can have our families, we can contribute to improvement of our neighborhood, we can help in our society, our city, our country, our continent, the whole world. There are no limits. The only one who is setting limits is you towards yourself. If we are honest, we can always also, people tend to find excuses as well. But it's because of my parents. But it's because of my wife or husband. It's because of my children. It's because of my boss. It's because of the economy, the political system, the corruption, natural disasters. Because of my planetary structure. Astrology is inevitably the last one, you know. I have Rahu, you know. When people say this, that apparently they don't say anything. I have Rahu in my house now. Well, talk to Rahu then. Ask him to get out, you know. And they imply as though we have to accept the reality. A lot of assumptions, right? And excuses. Each moment we find an excuse not to do what pleases us, we're blocking the manifestation of the love that we have within. We're tapping the spring, which is natural. Why it's natural? Anything what's natural and desired. Anything that is natural is never a cause of concern. Whereas anything that is unnatural generates some worries. Have you ever seen a person complaining, oh, I can see, I can walk, I can breathe, I can hear? No, because it's natural. Can you imagine a person going to the doctor, go to an ophthalmologist? Doctor, I can see. Oh, okay. But is it because you can see near or far? No, I can see near or far. But it's when you're reading or when you're not reading. No, I can see at any time. Then the doctor will look at you and say, oh, I can see. It's not a cause of concern. But if you can't see, then you go to a doctor. It's natural. When you're not happy, you're sad, you're worried. Why? Because it's not natural. And you're feeling hatred. You don't like yourself. Anyone who likes him or herself in any of this distress, emotional distress, like hatred, jealousy, it's a problem. Must be addressed, of course. Because this is unnatural. It's a distortion, unfortunately widely accepted by society, of your true loving nature. There are some reasons for it. Because there is an order. Previously, during the meditation, we were looking at the order. Right? Anatomical order, physiological order, psychological order. That's why it has become a science. Because there is an order. And within this order, there are some disorders which are accepted. Like exceptions. In grammar, you have a lot of rules and exceptions. But exceptions, you look at it as exceptions. The tendency is that life follows some programmed rules. But still we are in doubt, right? We have looked at our nature. We have looked at the happy and sad person, constantly changing. Sad, happy, sad, happy. These few and far between moments of happiness is what keeps us going, gives us motivation. Misunderstanding, the misconceptions that we have. We're educated to think of, which is unnatural, where the impact it has in our own being. So if this is the reality, how can I accommodate this living? What can I do in order to manifest which is natural to me? As much as possible, as often as possible, at any time, any situation, with anyone. It's as though you're walking on a path, and then you realize, well, the journey is not exactly the one I had planned for me. What should I do? If you're going to a destination and you realize you're going towards the wrong direction, naturally what we do? We try to find the way towards our destination. How do we do that? Because we are talking about a very subtle, intangible, and frequently ignored part of our existence, our emotions. First thing we can do we can force ourselves to be what we want to be. Do I want to be more courageous? Force myself. Willing. Do I want to be more loving? Force myself to be loving. Because by doing that, I change a mechanical way of living based on wrong conditionings towards a destiny where I deliberately define the path that I want to walk in my life. And as a consequence, I spend more time evoking the pleased self. Because I agree with myself. I do the things that I want to go after. And there is no other feeling that gives us such a tremendous satisfaction as doing what we are supposed to do. Or going or doing the things that we have set ourselves for ourselves. And you see, we are not talking about anyone else except ourselves. In other words, the whole universe that we use as an excuse, frequently we do that, but leaving it on the side. Now we are looking at ourselves, which is the only thing that you can be completely sure you have total influence over. But anytime that we avoid or we ignore or we don't do these kind of things, we change the vector. We spend most of our time trying to influence, trying to control, trying to change people, things, and situations around. Why? To please ourselves. We go after the uncontrollable, unpredictable, to please ourselves. Unaware of the fact that you can do it with yourself all the time. And consequently, you won't be demanding it from other people. It's as simple as that. Although it seems to be as hard as almost impossible. That's why during the meditation, we're concentrating in our own self. And it can even be gradually, our own perception of ourselves. Accepting this person, tolerating this person, respecting this person, loving this person. The more we do it, the less we demand from the world. In other words, we stop being a demanding consumer or beggar. We're begging the world all the time to do things that will make ourselves happy. And we become a contributor, expand ourselves. So in the beginning, in English they have a nice expression, fake it until you make it. Pretend that you are there. In a more pragmatic way, we can say, deliberately do that and repeat it until it becomes spontaneous. It's like we're learning the alphabet. You repeat A, B, C, D. You write A, small locks, caps lock. How many times we do that? Deliberately we do that. One day we look, oh, this is an A, this is an D, this is an C. This is the ABC of our emotions. Same thing. If you're learning music, sa, re, ga, ma. Someday, oh, this isn't sa. Anything. But we haven't answered the questions on the nature of love. It's a journey we are doing here. We're going to a very interesting journey. Loving journey. So is there a possibility that I'm not this electrocardiogram of happiness and sadness? Yes, there is. Only if I accept the possibility that love is natural, is intrinsic to my own nature. There is no other way. We have to deliberately refute the fact that love comes from outside source. And how do we do that? Inquiring into it. As we did for happiness, we do for love. Is there a place called love? No. Are there places that evoke love into you? Definitely. Is there a situation called love? No. Are there situations where I feel love? Unquestionably. Is there a person called love? No. Are there people that when I'm with them, I feel love? It manifests the best out of me? Yes. But in a situation, a place, or a person, if you go to a place, oh, I love mountains, it's so cool here, so peaceful. Stay there for a month. It becomes damp, a lot of moisture in the air, so lonely. These birds are very noisy. When we go on vacation, it's like that. We get there, first day, everything's beautiful. People come to India, first time this romantic spiritual journey. Oh, India, a lot of gurus, a lot of wise people. I'm going to sit under a tree, become the next Buddha. Auto rickshaws are nice. Animals on the streets are loving, colorful. There is smells everywhere after a month. They cannot talk to rickshaw wall anymore, it's so filthy, it's so chaotic. It's all projections. All projections. We project our likes and dislikes into the world, and we demand the world to please ourselves. All the time. In different degrees, using different tools and behaviors. So the only conclusion that we naturally reach is love must be intrinsic to my own existence. Otherwise, I would never feel love. Because we know the fact that it's not outside. It's not outside, yet I feel it. Therefore, it's within. Within doesn't mean it's your liver, your stomach, your heart, It's a cognitive understanding. Knowledge. Where there is love, there is no hatred. These two things clash. Where one exists, the other doesn't exist. Where there is light, there is no darkness. Darkness is absence of light. Light is absence of dark. Ah, but I see light here, and there at the corner, there is darkness. What did I just say? Where there is light, there is no darkness. There is darkness there, means light's not there. But if you believe there is darkness there, you have to look here. Maybe here there is some darkness. Same with love. If you accept that love is intrinsic, natural, self-evident, self-manifesting from your own nature, there are no rooms for any other feeling than love. Then the exercise is, how can I put into practice in my daily life? Begin with yourself. Loving myself, understanding myself, doing the things that are important to me, relevant, contribute to my growth, maturity, my well-being. It's a nice expression. And then expanding it. And the more we do it, the more harmonious our lives become. Your life will be much better. And you can choose to go to a cave and stay there meditating for it and studying about it. You can stay at home with your family. You can do anything you want with your life. But you are certain of that core of your existence. And there will be challenging moments. Oh, but then the person can say, oh, but what if somebody comes and hits me? Should I be loving? Oh, the first question, why is that person hitting you? That would be the first question. Why would somebody want to hit you with such a caring and kind person? Of course, you have to handle things objectively. Because your emotions are well grounded. You're not prone to those outbursts of emotions. Jealousy, hatred, sadness. Because they spring, hypothetically speaking, it's overflowing from you towards the world. It gives you an amazing space to relate to other people, to handle other people, accept them as they are. At home, at work, at school, with friends, with anyone in the society. It's that space that you look at yourself and say, yeah, things are all right. And the implications are amazing. It gives you more courage, gives you more energy, vitality. It's something to be discovered in a daily practice. Like learning the ABC. It's to look at yourself in the mirror in the morning and see, without judging yourself, which is the beginning. People look at themselves in the mirror. Oh, I wish I was thinner, I wish I was taller, I wish I was slimmer. I wish I had a different skin color, I wish I had different height. Very judgmental. And they begin the day like that. Very physically judgmental. Character-wise, personality-wise, judgmental. It's look at that individual, that name and form, and say, it's okay, you know. I have the most precious thing in the world manifesting from my own self, which is love. So I can give some love to myself. Could be in small things, even like cuddling your head, you know, caressing your own face. Women, they can put some cosmetics, dress in the way that you want. Could be practical things that the person does every day. Feels okay. And then it grows. And as time goes by, it's impressive the change that brings into your lives. People start enjoying your company, coming to you, because you're not asking them to be something else that they cannot be, just to please you. Which is the main cause of all breakups and sorrows and problems in relationship. Right? Relational love is the biggest problem. It's one beggar married to another beggar, begging each other to give what they don't have. Or they think don't have. Right? Not that they don't have. All the time. The whole world is based on this. We have songs, we have books, unrequited love, lost love, broken love. It's not love. It's the demanding person. You broke up with a demanding person. The displeased person. The person who was not aware that he had a treasure with himself and consequently was looking around where to get some crumbles of those jewels. It's amazing. Amazing. But this is basically the journey. Of course, we could speak about love for a long, long time. Just want to touch on it briefly. Bring some thoughts, some analysis. One very important aspect that I would like you to bring home with you is that our emotions, we can better learn how to deal and handle them when we inquire into them. We have to question. Why do we have to question? Because we have to replace our assumptions, our inferences, our wrong conditionings by a very solid and firm knowledge. Once knowledge takes place, ignorance is gone. When ignorance is gone, there are no rooms for the previous states. It is very straightforward. When you learn that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, even God can come here, sit next to you and say, no, look, it equals to 5. I say, no, it's 4. Same with our emotions. We have to understand their nature. What are the implications? What are the fallacies in our thinking, in our perceptions? Once we question these and we see that they are not valid, we can dismiss our wrong thinking. Then we replace it by proper thinking. And then we live in a more appropriate manner. In other words, we cause less disturbance around us, which is a tremendous contribution to the overall existence in our universe. Oftentimes I hear people no, it's emotions, It's a very logic, they say, the cause of your emotion, the cause of your problems are your emotions. If you control your emotions, you can control your problems. It's not controlling. Life is not about controlling. Life is about understanding, learning. History has proven us that control always leads to conflict. Even when we want to control ourselves, in certain things, we have conflict with ourselves. I know a lot of people who try to control their love towards other people. They would like to love that person, and they suppress it. They hold it back. So unfortunate. It's like having the capacity of seeing and blindfold yourself. It is that dramatic, that wrong. Whatever contributes, helps, encourages, motivates, let it flow. People at work do it all the time. Oh, I don't have a good salary, therefore I'm not going to do the best of me. Then they enter into a very disastrous cycle. Oh, I don't contribute as much, and at the end of the year you don't have that much achievement. Your salary raise is lower than you become average. This thinking has made us mediocres, human beings. Mediocres. Has averaged your potential. Always do the best you can. Emotionally, intellectually. If others reward you for what you're doing, good. If they don't, at least you feel yourself happy with yourself. And that's priceless. No one can pay you for that. So question things. Avoid being judgmental. Comparisons. Comparison is another one. It's a big problem. And we always compare us. Normally people compare themselves with Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Messi, right? Top ones. They are here. Oh, but I'll not get there. Prone to failure. No energy to start anything, to achieve anything. Gradual. Can you imagine if a child did this? He saw a grown-up walking and said, oh, I'm not even crawling. How can I get there? I'm not going to even try. Unnatural. There are some reasons for it, of course. Society demands success. You know what's success? All wrong thinking. Which is another interesting topic. But for now, let's acknowledge the fact that everything we do in life is to please ourselves. Therefore, without being selfish, as much as possible, try to do things that please yourself. So that the displeased self becomes less and less evident in your lives. then we give the possibility. Because you cannot think that you are a source of love if you are sorrowful. It's impossible. It's impossible. Because they don't go together. It's either or. It's not like a masala. You can put a lot of things together and it becomes tasteful. In this case, it doesn't work that way. Poke the pleased self, then allows yourselves to contemplate with the possibility that, yes, love is intrinsic to my own nature. Question. And then eventually, and hopefully very soon, if not today, love will manifest from your own essence. That's why it's something to be discovered. That's why the title is Discovering Love. It's like a scientist. You can use it as a theory. Then I try to surround myself with some alligators and tools that help me to prove that this is a valid theory. And then once it's proven, it becomes knowledge. It's no longer a theory. It's knowledge. Because you cannot dismiss it. It's valid. In every moment, every situation relating to anyone. Something to be discovered. Your own intrinsic, kind and loving nature. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a privilege speaking with you. And now if you have some questions, I'll be glad to answer them.